Happy Tuesday! Hi, she's Chrissy.
And she's Sissy.
And we're
Chrissy&Sissy.
So, we're back with another Sunday School video. So excited. Sorry for the technical difficulties on the last one. We apologize. We know that was nothing but the enemy.
Because we had a great time.
We had a great time with that lesson.
Yeah,
I have virtually been in Columbus, Ohio since July. Really since June 30th. I've had a blast. I've learned a lot.
She's
and I'm so
fresh
excited.
back from her virtual
conference convention. I'm so happy. I mean, yes. Let's get started with this Sunday school lesson. The title of this lesson for the teens is Wisdom That Amazes. And so here's what's amazing about this lesson. Sis, this was the same lesson we taught in Vacation Bible School.
Yes,
Remember Jesus went to the temple and that, the leaders, the male leaders there were just so amazed. They're like, wow, he's sitting here, he's learning. And one of the biggest takeaway from this is that, even if Jesus, who came down on earth, yes, he was man, but more importantly, he was God in flesh, and he still sought wisdom. And I think, as we're talking about wisdom this quarter, we can always say, oh, well, why I need to seek wisdom, why this? But, I mean, look at how Jesus himself set the example for us. Wisdom can be found, and I really thought about the babies. Wisdom can be found when we ask questions, the lesson point that out, and search for understanding. And I thought that was just so amazing because, the Bible talks about that, in all you're getting, get an understanding, study to show yourself approved. All these scriptures that we may not know where they are in the Bible, but they always have been embedded in my head.
Right.
And I just thought that was so amazing because I think in the climate of today, and just having a Sunday school tip, I think it's just nice to, show and realize that, hey, let this baby who is 9 years old, who has questions in Sunday school class, answer those questions. I think we go to church to get answers. We don't go to church to go and then, okay, what did I learn today? So you should never go to church and feel like you're confused. And so as children, and as we're teaching to we're teaching the next generation, we have to be very open-minded, I would say, and allow them to ask questions. It's not about them why they always ask me questions. You just supposed to do what you're supposed to say. No, and I think that's not the mentality. I remember I was in church one time, and this little girl, you already know she is, she sat by me, and wow, I think the men and women of God would be up speaking. She'd be like, what that word mean? What that word mean? She's trying to get an understanding of the lesson. But yes, this is a great lesson. But I do remember that, that young girl, shout out to her, she knows she is, who would always ask me questions. And it's like, my mom always said, the mother always said, if they're old enough to ask, then they're old enough to get a response. Right. And so I feel like that. With us being youth leaders, they ask. If they know, I'd rather them be asking about the Word of God and we can teach them the Word of God than they're curious about other things and other things out there too. So we're talking about Jesus and how he went to the temple. That's basically how our story, how the lesson wrote it out. But one thing I loved about the lesson was the girl in the lesson called Zara. Her name was Zara. I think I'm pronouncing it right. And how she sat and listened to her elders. She sat and listened to her grandmother. And I was that type of child. I love to sit and to listen. And, just in this lesson and seeking wisdom, as Sunday school teachers, when we have that privilege of having our, students want to learn more, they want to seek wisdom, allow them to do that, allow them to learn. I feel like you cannot know where you're going until you know where you've been. That's what's so different about Generation Z. That's the classes, those are the students that we're teaching, Generation Z. They're the type, they're questioning. Those the ones that are out right now. They're the ones that's questioning, like, okay, why have we been doing this all our life? Why are you saying I have to do this? Like, they're 18 years old. They're 16. They're like, why we gotta have a response to reading? Our bishop over Sunday school said it Friday night of the convention, and he was like, a child saved.
It's a soul saved.
And so, we have to value our young people as members of the church. I feel like that's why, this, and I'm going to probably do something on it, but I feel like that's why so many young people, we end up leaving our home church and really don't really come back. But we leave because we don't feel like we have our stake as a member at that church. And I know you're a big advocate of, their members too. We have memberships too. They pay their tithe, they pay their offering. It may not be as much, but if we think about the woman that only had, what it was, like 2 cents. But,
What it's like.
Thank you. And what she did, she gave, as long as you give from your heart, right? Okay. And also, lastly, we have to pursue wisdom, godly wisdom, to discern the time. And with that last aim, we have to pursue godly wisdom and not man's wisdom, as I like to say, because godly wisdom will, there are going to be no regrets. We talked about John the Baptist last week. When that time comes and you see death, or you persecute or something, you won't be like, what I did, was it right? There won't be no questions about it. There won't be no repercussions about it. But pursuing godly wisdom, especially during this time, and we as Chrissy&Sissy want everybody to remain safe during this time. Read your facts, read the articles, do your research, read past laws, get a full understanding. Don't just click on these social media, young people, don't click on these little social media little clickbaits and then just follow what, people, because the enemy has his people out there too, and we don't want to just be clicking stuff and going along with what we think is the popular thing. We want to make sure that we're accurate and that we, look on that. And one person y'all can look to, a group of people y'all can look to, is that your church, depending on your church organizations, they have a stance on what is going on. And I'm sure that the man of God, the women of God, have sought the Lord on the issues that are going on, and they will be there, and they will be a good guide. And Sunday school teachers, let's remember to not shy away from these conversations and talk about some of these things in our class, okay? And so we're going to get started and go to our Sunday school tip.
Tip number 5. Always be prompt. Start your class at the appointed time. When a student who tends to be habitually late find out that the class, or when a student that continuously be habitually late finds out that the class will start on time, they may have a tendency to make a special effort to get to class on time. Another tip for that, just to kind of like add into that, one thing that I did once was I just kind of like and it wasn't intentionally, just randomly brought in like a bag of goodies. I think it was either like some putty or some slime or something that CVS had marked down to like 25 cents. So I just like bought all of them. So I was like, I'm just going to carry these to Sunday school, and the ones that are there on time will receive this. Then when everybody else came dragging in, 10:15, we got what now? 15 minutes to get this together and get out of here. So when they came dragging in, they were like, well, we didn't get a putty. It's like that was for the children that were on time. And I understand a lot of people say, well, when they're this age or that age, they don't have any control. But what I found out, did she just do the church thing? Sissy has stepped away from the camera for now. But what you find out is, although we realize that it's not this child's fault that they're late, but if they get up and they kind of like encourage their parents to say, hey, can we be at church Sunday school on time this morning? I have this to do, or it's just an exciting lesson. Sometimes, with that, the children will like, come on and get on out. So.
All right, I want to get back to the first thing we talked about, time.
time. Starting on time.
I want to talk about that.
She wants to talk about it.
Because a little bonus tip, and I may put like a little bonus tip. I'm a big advocate of that. You start on time. I know somebody was like, they're not gonna be ready, so I'm not gonna come.
Yeah,
She say 2:30. If she say 2:30, I'm not gonna have to think of, well, she probably have to take care of the baby. She gonna probably have to cook. I'm still gonna show up at 2:30, if not so like 2 minutes before.
Right.
I'm still gonna stick to that time, and then that way she understand when Sissy comes over here, she gonna be ready to work, and so so your children are the same way, and they know us. If they know, oh, you gonna wait on me till I start, then they're going to be like, okay, well, I just get there when I get there. And then how does that hurt their class? And I know as a Sunday school teacher, I want to make sure that those that are coming, we start at 9:30, prayer at 9 o'clock. There's some children that be there at 9 o'clock. And they ready for Sunday school. Even if they're not ready, just respect their time. And, have little incentives for them to, like candy or putty or a little token or a little prize. Because people always think, who gets them to Sunday school? Oh, their parents. But Stephen Covey research shows that if people want to do something, they will make arrangements to get there. This has been a great Sunday school lesson. I'm so glad that you all have watched the lesson. Keep subscribing, liking, keep doing what you do. We also want to remind you all of our Chrissy&Sissy, the Art of Time, our 2 days time management seminar. Thank you for those that are registering. We're excited about this. People say, is it for all ages, sis?
It's for all ages.
It's for all ages. We're not just putting a limit on it because our young people may learn, okay, how can I balance my school? And now they're talking about us going back to school virtually and my church time. Adults, parents, how can I teach my niece, my nephew, my child how to manage their time? And how can I manage my time as a mom, as an auntie, as a youth worker, as an evangelist, as a deacon's wife, so on and so on. So we are inviting you all to register for the seminar. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. It's going to be online, and more information is to come. You can register at our website, Chrissy&Sissy.com. Yes, we have a website, Chrissy&Sissy.com. With that being said, happy studying.